good afternoon. Or I guess if it's not afternoon for you, then not good afternoon. If it's not afternoon for you, you know what? You can't watch this until it's afternoon. I just, you know, I don't make the rules, sorry, but that's how it is. Anyway, you see the title, you know something's up, and if you've been keeping up with the recent videos, then you know this has been coming for a little while now, and it's time to say goodbye to an old friend. The keyboard that I think for many has been a marker of this channel since the very beginning, it is no more. We are saying goodbye to the old keyboard, the one I've had for 4 years now, and again, I think a marker for a lot of people for my casual commentaries and stuff like that. I mean, very audibly you can tell, no longer present. I do have a new mic setup now, so it probably sounds a bit different. I think I'll probably need to give a little bit of backstory for that, but just for the record and to set the story straight, I mean, this is not the only announcement. I have one more announcement after this, but I gotta complete this one first, which is that, it is true. The rumors are true. I do have a new keyboard. I know. They didn't lie to you. I don't know how rumors could lie to you. Rumors are not people, but the rumors didn't lie to you. So before, I had a membrane keyboard, which was kind of pain, and I only realize now how much it kind of sucked, if I'm being honest, because this new one is so much better. I got an Apex Pro, which is a pretty sick keyboard. Has some cool functions. You can change the actuation point to basically make it hyper speed, and I didn't realize before that so many of my inputs were dropping. Downlight Nair on gauntlets is so much easier now. I don't have to hit the keys nearly as hard because it's not like a tiny little membrane keyboard, so that's cool. Anyway, on to, I guess, a little bit of story time, although I guess if I start the story time, I might have to end it off, given that this game, this Hattori is in the red here, and if I get one quickie combo, it'll be over. I guess I'm not getting any quickie combo. Okay, never mind. So a bit of story time. Our resident YouTube Orion, Mastermind, Stefan Afro, Steven Fro, whatever you wish to call him. He messages me, but a couple days ago, and he's like, "Sup, your keyboard is too loud, so I'm gonna send you this program, and it's gonna remove your keyboard sounds." And I go, "Okay," and I tried it, and I mean, you can hear the difference. I guess you can't hear the difference, given that you don't know what it sounds like normally, so maybe I'll turn it off for a little bit so you can see. My voice is a little bit different again because I have a bit of a different mic setup right now. Also, I know I'm getting sidetracked a lot, but I keep it jumping by accident because this keyboard is so sensitive, and I'm used to just, like, having to mash for anything to come out, which I'm sure, if you've watched my videos, you know the sound of it. When people say that I pressed 17 buttons to press light attack, I mean, you're kind of not wrong there. But things are different now, okay? Things have changed. So, I have that program, it's called RTX Voice. The reason why, I remember a clip going viral about, I just said a clip going viral, I feel like a boomer. About this guy, and he had a leaf blower in front of his microphone, and it didn't even pick up because he had this program, so that's the one that I'm using. It's called RTX Voice because it's from NVIDIA, who makes a graphics card that's like RTX series or something like that. I don't have an RTX graphics card. Those things cost a lot of money, and I just bought a keyboard, so funds looking a little low, I'm not gonna lie. But turns out you can just use it on GTX cards anyway, so that's what I'm doing. It's kind of cool. I guess maybe for this match I could give... Oh, I meant to reverse that. That would have been a nice clean knockout. I can give an example of the sounds of the keyboard with and without this program. That was gutsy. I'm surprised they did that, but, you know, I'm gutsy too sometimes. So, this is what it sounds like without this program enabled. You can tell it's a little bit of a mechanical boy, you know? Sometimes you gotta move on from the membrane. I'm only focusing on my keyboard sounds right now, so I'm not looking at my game. I'm not gonna lie, this is the first day. First few games that I've played. I've played, you know, a little bit with it. I wanted to test it out right when I got it, so we're gonna pretend that didn't happen. But sometimes the keyboard clacks do get to me, so let me turn that off again, and we're back to bliss. It is beautiful. They almost went into that. I'm gonna hope that they do. They did. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so that's what's going on with the microphone. I know it does sound a little different, probably a little weird, but I'm still tweaking things, fine-tuning things, and seeing what works for me and all that. And ooh, I have an idea. Okay, we're gonna hit them up so they. Okay, never. My ideas never work. I just wanted to hit a crazy, wacky, cool slant combo, but sometimes things don't go your way, and that's okay. Anyway, on to the second announcement, which is about the most recent, or the next project that I'm making, the next huge thing that I'm working on. If you read the community tab, then you know what I'm talking about, but let's be honest here. Nobody cares about the community tab. I don't care about the community tab, and I use it sometimes, rarely, but sometimes. The channels I'm subbed to, I press ignore, especially for the community tab. So, yeah, community tab kind of sucks. But I did make a little bit of a mini announcement there, which is the next project I'm working on is a giant improvement guide. It is, bar none, the longest video I've ever made. Just to give some context or some numbers here. Oh, there, I pressed my jump too early, because I'm used to just mashing. My game lagged for a second there. It's a good thing it hit. To give some context, my video where I talked about post-game toxicity, that was 35 minutes long. This video is shaping up to be... So far, I've been working on it for a couple weeks, and it is over twice as long, and I'm not even close to being done yet. So, hopefully that gives some context for why this is taking so long. Please spawn in time. Nice. Not nice. I died! So yeah, it's a pretty chungo project here. Definitely the longest video I've ever made. I don't know if might be the longest video I'll ever make, I don't know. But I feel really good about it. I actually think it's the best project I've ever made so far. And I've just been writing the script and everything like that. What it is, basically, to give some explanation, is it's marketed as a video to help you get out of a place when you feel completely stuck. If you've been stuck in gold for however many hours and plat for however many hours, that's what it's marketed as. What it actually is a general improvement guide with a focus on a lot of things psychological about why you can't rank up. So that's why it's pretty in-depth, that's why it's pretty long, because it is a pretty, I don't know, basically it's formatted like 5 different sections of tips, of things to consider, and explanations for why it actually is something that can help you. So hopefully that will be helpful for a lot of people. Hopefully if you want to watch it, you'll give it a 1-2 vieweroo. If not, I also understand, because it's a big one. Are they AFK? They're AFK. Okay, they're back. I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, it's just a chungo. That's it. That's all I'm saying. So, but the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I think it transitions nicely into the main topic of the video. I mean, I guess there's 3 main topics. Number 1 is keyboard, number 2 is this video, and number 3 is this topic that I think will be especially interesting, or especially helpful, for if you make videos yourself, because it's a question that I get all the time, but I think it'll be a little insightful even if you don't make videos. So the general thing is that people ask me a lot if I have any tips or any tricks or any recommendations for people that are trying to start off a YouTube channel and things to do. I didn't think that would hit me because I thought it would explode into the wall. I guess it did explode into the wall, and then it walked into the wall. So, who's the idiot here? Definitely me. But that's fine. And basically people ask me those kinds of questions, and it's hard to answer. Hard because so much of YouTube is unknown. Like, so much is uncontrollable. The algorithm... Oh god, I GC'd against Canon. That is a grave mistake. So much is just unknown. You don't know if a video is just gonna bomb. You don't really necessarily know what makes a video completely tick. I mean, you can have an understanding if you've got, like, data and all that, but really knowing all the variables and all the factors is impossible. Because I don't think anyone knows it. I don't think even YouTube knows it. See, right there was a bit of a misinput. I didn't mean to dodge up there. I ended up living because of it, but I pressed my key a little too late. And sometimes it jumps when I didn't mean to jump. And that's okay. But yeah. I think it'll make sense why I'm talking about it in regards to this video in a little bit. But yeah, you really don't know. And so the advice I give to people is not necessarily related to what type of content to make, but the kind of mentality that I think can be helpful or is important to consider when you make content and when you make videos. Which is that having some level of disconnect from the numbers and oh, I just knocked my mic, and the statistics and everything is really important, because I think a lot of people have this mentality, and this is not just in videos, this is with like everything in life, that if they just had this one more thing, then they would be happy. Like, if I just had 1,000 extra dollars, if I just had a relationship, if I just had 10,000 subscribers, then I would be happy, then I would be satisfied. But that's really not how things work, and so I think it's important, especially if your goal is to grow, and I think having goals to grow is very good. But also to understand what those goals are, because I think you can quickly get burnt out or overwhelmed by the fact that goals aren't... Oh, that stomp hit weird. By the fact that goals do not give you that satisfaction that you're looking for. And basically, the thing is that it makes a lot of sense, right? If you don't have something, and you feel like something is missing, then it makes a lot of sense to assume that thing, if you had it, then you would no longer have that feeling of something missing. A good example is those subscribers. If you don't have those subscribers, if you don't have those views, then yeah, of course, that's the thing that'll give you that satisfaction because it's missing. And it just makes logical sense. But that's not really how things work, and it's kind of well understood that satisfaction does not come from external things. I got sidelined 3 times. That's okay, I didn't die. It's fine. What was I saying? Something about... yeah, satisfaction. So satisfaction, we tend to think, especially as a culture, a culture of acquiring things, we tend to think of satisfaction coming from external things, like having a good house, having a good job, and while those things can certainly contribute to it, satisfaction cannot come from solely external factors, because they can certainly give you happiness. I just walked into 5 signatures in a row. I don't know why I did that, but I did that. It can certainly come from, like, happiness, because happiness is, in many ways, a function of, like, relativity. It's not absolute. So people, I don't know, we generally have this idea of happiness as an absolute thing. Like, if you win the lottery, you will just be satisfied for the rest of your life, because you have that absolute marker of wealth and success. But happiness does not operate in absolutes, it operates in relatives. That's just the way, like, chemically it functions in our body. Is like the difference between your levels of this neurotransmitter in X moment and in Y moment and stuff like that. So, if you find $20 in the street, you're certainly happy about finding those $20, but in a year, you do not get the same level of happiness from those $20 that you did from the moment you found them on the street. And it's actually the same with people who win the lottery. There's been lots of studies about this kind of thing where people who win the lottery, their baseline level of happiness is basically the same like a year after they win the lottery compared to where they were like when they didn't win it, because it's all about relativity. And you know, your life, your brain... oh, I missed my input. That's okay. It's just resets and you need a new goal. And I think for a lot of people, when the goal is X number of views, it can be very easy to get disappointed when you reach that goal, and then you feel great for a moment, and then ultimately you're still like not satisfied. Ooh, get baited. That was nice. That was nice. I think I don't actually know where I just left off that thought, because I was sitting with myself in the queue, but I think that's also a contributor to thing like being able to get burnt out. Not being able, but like burning out very quickly. Is it's so stressful to constantly worry about those numbers, because like, yeah, maybe having your goal and like understanding that the number is temporary, and as you grow the relative goal will increase. But like, I guess that I don't know if I mentioned that, but like, yeah, for a lot of things it's like, so you think that if you get 1,000 subs then you'll just be satisfied, but then in 2 weeks like you need 2,000. Like 1,000 no longer gives you that satisfaction. You think it will, but it won't. And that's not like a blanket statement, that's completely true across the board, but if your goal only lies in the numbers, then I think it's very easy to get caught in that trap. And the thing is, and it's not YouTube, it's social media, it's like grades, it's jobs, it's all a comparison game. Like, you're constantly comparing your numbers to everyone else's numbers, and you're comparing like X creators' numbers to Y creators' numbers, and you're telling them about that you have this many viewers, but this person has this many views, and it just becomes this game, because your worth on the platform is your number. It's not like you as a human, it's like how many subs do you have, how many views do you get. Like, that is your value. as determined by like these platforms and by these other metrics as well. And so it's so easy to get caught in this negative loop of tying your value. Oop, I meant an error. Tying your value to that number. And if that number can never ultimately satisfy you because it always has to go up, then it can be really dangerous. And I think that is a loop that a lot of people get caught into, and it's a loop that I find myself getting caught into a lot. And I think that's why I want to talk about it, because I have personal experience with this. So tying it back to what I was talking about earlier with this video that I'm working on, this huge project, is part of the reason why I'm talking about it is because I am terrified. I'm terrified of this video just completely bombing and pouring my soul into it, and knowing that, you know, maybe it'll just get killed by the algorithm for some random reason, or the people that like my videos won't want to watch it because it's so different from other things. I mean, it's not actually that different, it's just like really long, but again, like not everyone wants to watch like an hour-and-a-half long video, so, and that's understandable. But part of that concern is like, because I have such an attachment to the numbers, and if the video bombs, that is a shame because I've put so much work into it, and if the value of a video is how many views it gets, then yeah, absolutely, I should be concerned about that. The thing is that the value of a video is not only in the views it gets, and that's certainly a component of it, but I think it's very easy to get caught into that trap once again, because that is your value on the platform. And I'm sure if you've made videos before, you've been happy with it, it's been a great video, you liked it when you made it, but something about it, maybe the reception in the comments, maybe, okay, I tried to dodge there, but I think I pressed it like too early, because I was like over compensating, because I was like, oh, new keyboard. Something about it makes you just not like it anymore, and then your perception of the video changes based off like the response to it, which is not what you thought initially, which is weird if you think about it. If you were fully satisfied with a video, but then you're not anymore, that is something to think about. But okay, that wasn't true, but no, there was that. I need to be stacked for that to be true. I'm still alive though somehow. I guess I'm core. Core's a bit of a tank. Yeah, so this is relevant for this video because I'm very kind of anxious. I get a lot of a fear in many ways, a lot of worry about this video because I am pouring so much time into it, and I'm like, is it worth it? Like, is it worth all that stress? Maybe it'll just die in the algorithm, and then all this time will be put, and then the people that I think it could help, and like the people that I think that I'd want to see it, like maybe they wouldn't be able to see it, and all those things, and that kind of sucks. But I think tying it back, that true bliss in some sense in this situation will come not from the video getting however many views above average or the video performing terribly. I think it'll come from, like, that true satisfaction will come from something more internal, which is that, you know, whether or not the video does well or whether or not it does poorly, I can't really control that. It is what it is. So, you know, maybe my anxiety can go down if I think about, you know, this isn't something I can actually ultimately control, because realistically nobody can control the YouTube algorithm, not even YouTube. But just like, it is what it is, and if I made the best video that I could make, then I did the best I could, you know? Obviously I want it to do well, like if it does well, that's great. I mean, part of the reason why I'm even talking about it is because I'm very excited about it and I want people to watch it and enjoy it, and I hope that it'll help people. But yeah, I think that true satisfaction will come from accepting that maybe I can't actually control that, and maybe the video has value on its own outside of the views. And while I can recognize that logically, sometimes it's hard to actually put my mind to that and understand it. Like, I can understand it logically, but like understanding it for myself, I think is two very different things. But I do think that relates to a lot of other things in life, which is that we kind of have these expectations or this commitment to a result when the result is actually something that we do not have control over, and that produces a lot of anxiety. And I think it's important to learn what those things are and what things we do actually like have control of and can do things about. So like in this situation, like, can I make the best video I can make right now? Like, could I put it out in like 7 different parts? Oh, I don't even know what I was saying there. I said something about 7 different parts. I don't think that's what I wanted to say. I was like, Like, could I just make, like, 7 videos in the time that it would take to make this one? Like, probably. I could probably even make, like, 12. Let's be honest here. I could make 20 videos in the amount of time that it's taken me to make this one. But, like, this is the one that I want to make right now, so it's the one I'm gonna make. And I'll make those other videos when I want to make those other videos, you know? And could I just put it out earlier with less polish, and that way there might be like less of a gap in between when I make X thing and Y thing and blah blah blah, optimizing stats and all that, trying to optimize the success ratio and this and that. Like, yeah, I could do all of that, but I just want to make the video the best it can be, and sometimes that just takes a lot of time. I hope that's understandable too, that I might not be putting something out. Oh yeah, by the way, look what I can do with the new keyboard. Oh, okay. I had to relax for a second there. I had to take a break there. But I had to cool the jets. Sometimes you gotta cool the jets. Okay, but sometimes the jets gotta go off. It looks funnier when it's unarmed, I think. Please, let me just squirm. Let me be a meatball. Okay, I deserve that. I'm just trying to zoom. Oh no, I guess they are too. So to bring it back around, I guess the thesis of this part of the video, it's about understanding if you make videos. Having goals and numbers is completely fine. I think it's good to set goals and to try and accomplish them, and it feels good. But also understand what those goals are, what it means to accomplish those goals, and that if you're looking for something external to give you permanent satisfaction internally, then to be aware of that. And using my video as an example, in many ways we try to control things that we can't actually control. Like me, for instance, I want this video to perform well, even though that's something that I really cannot control. It's up to the YouTube gods. And despite that, me trying to control it, like, in my head, produces a great amount of anxiety. And if there are things that you are recognizing that you're very, very committed to the result, very attached to the result of something that you actually don't know what's going to happen, then I think it can be important to think about it and consider. Like, you don't actually have to accept that you just can't do anything about it, because maybe you can. But just think about it in those moments where you notice yourself having a lot of anxious thoughts about something. Like, is this something that you actually do have control over, or is this something that's just producing a lot of anxiety because you're trying to control it even though you can't? And for me in this situation, this is something that I'm trying to control, the YouTube algorithm, that I actually can't. And the video, again, might bomb. And you know what? If it bombs, and I can't do anything about it. And I did the best I could. I try to make it a good title, I try to make it a good thumbnail, and after that, it's up to the gods. So, yeah, maybe if you notice those kinds of patterns and things you do. If it relates to Brawlhalla at all, this topic also has a lot of weight in improving, so I think you'll see this kind of thing come back in the guide that I am working on. But yeah, I guess that's just generally what I wanted to talk about. I did try to record this yesterday, but I actually I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait until I have the newbie keyboard. Alright, for this last game here, I'll do a little bit of a live commentary, explain what's going through my head. The first thing that's on my mind is that this keyboard makes me feel like I have like 60 less ping, and I'm realizing that the one I used was probably just super delayed, which, yeah, I have a hard time getting rid of hardware and stuff like that. Like, I had it for over 4 years at this point. So yeah, what was going through my mind in that edgeguard, I think they had a recovery that they didn't use, so I was just like trying to space out for that. Qatar Nair doesn't do the most damage. It's a super strong neutral move, but they're not really doing much other than the nairing right there. I had a feeling they would dodge towards the wall because they were just holding in the entire time, so something to do on an edgeguard, if your opponent catches on to you just holding in all the time, is sometimes you space outside of it, or you give them a little weave, and then your movement is less obvious, and they don't have as much time to punish you. There I thought they might dodge down. I knew they would dodge out there because they did before in a similar situation. Couldn't avoid that ground pound because I locked myself in hitboxes, but that's okay. They avoided that weapon toss, which was pretty good. I think a lot of people's instinct is to just step off the wall there. So, good on them for not doing it. Right now I'm kind of just trolling, and they're dead. But it worked out. Alright, that was That was a bit of a casual video. I made a couple announcements. We talked about video games, we talked about video making, and we talked about a new keyboard. So